You know what they got to do? You know, one of these days they have to do a Garfield crossover. Garfield slash Pokemon or something. Pikachu's a mouse and Garfield gets along with mice. He's not a cat that eats mice. Garfield once said that, show me a good mouse and I'll show you a cat with bad breath. So I guess that's the reason why Garfield doesn't like eating mice. He doesn't want bad breath or something. There's already the, I don't know if it's been updated in ages, the Garfield Tumblr where it's like, here's Garfield combined with different Pokemon. If you've never heard of Garfemon, maybe you've seen them in internet memes or something. Yeah, like look at this. Pelipper Garfield. It's kind of weird having a second pair of eyes on its chest. Okay, I'm starting to wonder, well, this was started before AI art became a thing, but like having 3 noses here on, it's starting to make me think, is this AI generated? I hope it's not. Oh, Shrifty, where they combine Garfield with Odie, and Odie's tongue is the nose. Nuzleaf, that is very strange, wrapping around Garfield's yellow mouth around its eyes, and Garfield's eyes are its legs. There's a C-Dot, I think it's called. Well, that at least kind of looks a bit cute. Although, again, it's a little freaky. They've got, like, Garfield's yellow mouth, and then its yellow mouth is the little swirl thing on top. Ludokilo, or whatever it's called. Garfield wearing his bed as the hat. Yeah, and then... Okay, that's kind of a bit creative, having Garfield's bowl be the little hat on that thing. Dustox. Some of these look a bit cursed. Beautifly. Okay, the big blew up freaky eyes. I just realized this is combining John Arbuckle. Like, this is John contorted. And, freaky Garfield worm. Wormpole, I think that is. Leon. Where's Zigzag Zune? Zigzag Garfield. Oh, it says Zigzag Garf. And then there's Mighty Yena. They could have just made that Odie. Wow. Crunch. Hiss. Swampert. There's... Do you like Mudkips or do you like Garfkips? Blaziken with another Garfield face on his crotch. That is kind of freaky. Odie, Combuskin, Torchic. They could have had Booker or Sheldon from U.S. Acres. Let's see the Trico line. Huh. Okay, that's a bit, the leaf blades are just extra tails. Garfield Trico is, I don't know, a little freaky. They have the eyes bulging out. Treefield. And then, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I'm not sure. Are these supposed to be, are these Pokemon? Yeah, these don't look like Pokemon now. These just look like weird, I don't know, Garfield Eldritch Abominations. Okay, I don't think these are Garfield Pokemon now. These are just someone's creepy Garfield OCs. Where... Okay, yeah, they stopped being Pokemon. Yeah, Garfake. Well, I don't know. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, I'm not sure what this artist is smoking. Doing all these weird, yeah, where'd the the Garfield Pokemon go? Now we have, Garfield and Pookie merged as a genie. Wow. Okay, these freaky Garfield things are starting to remind me of something in one of the Garfield books. I should go get it. Yeah, this is one of the old Garfield books. Garfield Takes the Cake. But in the back, it's got Garfield characters that didn't make it. And the description is Jim Davis saying, "When I initially designed Garfield, these concepts never made it off the drawing board. Maybe they could be brought back in a strip called Rogues Gallery." We see Garfield with some sort of 70s or 80s pop star look. I don't know. Garfield with incredibly big hands and feet. An alien-looking Garfield. Garfield with braids.
I forgot to mention the long-necked Garfield that doesn't even look like a Garfield since it has no stripes. He kind of reminds me of a cat Garfield meets named Guido, a character from a storyline where Garfield ends up in a city town. That storyline is actually reprinted in Garfield Takes the Cake along with the Rogues Gallery gang, so maybe Guido snuck into this lineup. My other interpretation of this long-necked cat is that it looks like it could be a relative of Garfield's girlfriend Arlene, since Arlene also has a long neck. So if Garfield ever married Arlene, maybe this character could be like one of Garfield's in-laws, I don't know. I think the Garfield with large hands and feet might have had a slight influence on me. With my superhero dog character Perry, his superhero mutation gave him large hand and foot paws. I was actually referencing House Pets by Rick Griffin and Mega Man when designing Perry, but who knows, maybe I was subconsciously influenced by this Rogues Gallery Garfield as well.
I did wonder, like, in some obscure newspapers, is there really a second comic strip Jim Davis did called Rogues Gallery where he has these really weird Garfield characters all around? I guess these are variants of Garfield across the multiverse or something. Yeah, we have Pet Forces in an alternate universe. I guess, I know, these are Garfields in the Rogues Gallery universe. It would be interesting if, like, one day someone approached Jim Davis at a con or something and asked him about, you know, what was this whole Rogues Gallery thing supposed to be about. But that's what all these freaky Garfield monsters makes me think about. It's amazing that Garfield, like, I don't know, is considered to be, like, just unfunny and trite, and yet inspires, like, all this very strange fan art. I think there's a video I saw called something like How the Internet Corrupted Garfield, and it basically goes over the history of weird Garfield parodies like I'm Sorry John and such. And one of these days I want to do a video on ranking Garfield parodies, and I have a whole list of Garfield parodies, but it's like I haven't gotten around. You know, maybe I could do that as a Twitch stream in the future, and you know, because I thought about, like, what if I made it an actual edited video, or should I do it live or something, like in a Twitch stream? I don't know. So anyway, I guess I'll get Daniel out. Just want to see more Garfemon. Blissfield. Oh my god. Well, I'll show that in a moment. Anyway, this is what I was laughing at earlier. The Blissey version of Garfield. And also Miltank Garfield. Like with... I don't know why John is the udder. It produces milk by having its jaw nipples. Barf. That's all you need to know about this Garfemon to determine whether or not you want to be friends with it. Garfbee. I'm trying to remember which Pokemon is this supposed to be. Yeah, Elekid. Or Garfakid. Smoochum. Smoochfield. Like it smooches you with its hair. Garfemon top. Except it doesn't have 3 legs, it's just 2 legs and then a tail as the quote-unquote 3rd leg. And then there's Garfrogue. Smeargarf. With John's hair on the top. Stantfield. Yeah, these are just Porygarf 2. Dawnfield. Fanfield. Kinggarf. Or Kingfield. Yeah, okay, now we got John's mom incorporated in the design here. Garfdoom. And Garfield's grandma also. Wow. And Skarmory Garfield. With his whiskers as the wing. It's very interesting that whoever this artist is will just mix up different parts of Garfield to make these Garf Pokemon look more demented. Like having Garfield's little smirk thing, the yellow part of his mouth, be like, I don't know, Skarmory's neck guard or something. Oh, and then there's Mantine, Delafield. Like, just distorting Garfield's features to make really demented looking Garf Pokemon. Like, they almost look AI generated. But what's this? This Garfemon only lives in very polluted waters, like a city sewer system or rural septic tank, or I guess I should be more specific and only lives in poop water. Pillowfield. I gotta check. Does it have a date on this? I just want to see when was this. What was the date of when these were posted? I just want to make sure that. Oh, I think maybe in the okay 20. When was the last update? I gotta see when was this last updated. So 2020. Okay, so a lot of these were actually done, I think, before AI art became a thing. So a lot of these were actually drawn. This isn't like an AI program being told produce some sort of Garfield Pokemon abomination. Someone actually put thought into these things. That's amazing. Wow. It's like this is a cargo Garfield. Slugfield. That's good. Having it come out of a pan of lasagna. And then Ursafield, for some reason having a Family Circus comic appear on its body. Sneezefield. Okay. Maybe I should just get back to the animation. I don't know. I'm just finding all these Garfemon just fascinating. Oh, now this is good. Scissor Garfield with, yeah, his own heads as scissors pinchers. Yeah, Granbull Garfield. Why is there an eye on its foot? Like, I know there's a cut beta Pokemon that had mouths on its feet, but that's just really strange. You know, one of the beta Pokemon from Gen 3 that was cut. And there's Steelix Garfield. It's kind of weird finding out that there's one person in Ben the Dragon's Discord that was actually involved in these Pokemon beta leaks. That was a weird discovery to find. Like, I was watching someone recount the history of these beta leaks, and it's like, oh, look, I recognize this person, and then it goes on about how, you know, that person was then harassed by people for not releasing enough or releasing too much, and it's like, oh my god, wow, this took a dark turn that I did not expect. And then we have Gligger Garfield. Like, what is it with Garfield spawning extra faces or something? Dunsparce. Well, I don't know. Suddenly this has me thinking of one of the Garfield plushies I have. I mean, you know, Garfield spawning a bunch of extra faces everywhere kind of makes me think of this plushie I have. Garfield wearing, like, little slippers of himself. I got this at a flea market. I have an extensive collection of Garfield plushies.